the first week before I started to teach here, I was wondering what my place would be here. Like what would be like the worth of me even being here? Because a lot of the older gods were still alive, and part of me was feeling kind of foolish that people like Firstborn Prince and Kali was teaching, and everybody was teaching. I was like, well, what the hell's the use? And that's why a lot of people they kind of pigeonholed what I was doing as like writing class. You know what I'm saying? And it was hard to just teach writing because people come in, they just want to know what they want to know what they want to know. Be surprised, you know. This is why I asked you, because deep down you know what you want to know, right? The word education comes from the Latin educare, which means to what? Draw out that which is within. So all education is really what's within you coming out. You know what I mean? Just ways of seeing that. So I had seen some gods. I was sitting right here. Of course, the layout was a little bit different, a little uglier, but it was here. And there was these older gods, but I didn't know some of them because I started teaching the year after I got knowledge. So I got knowledge in 1999, and I'm teaching already at 2000. So there's a lot of people I didn't even see. So I just was quiet a lot. You know what I mean? I only talk when I teach. You know what I mean? I'm really not that talkative. So I'm doing the knowledge, and they're all talking about the Father. And one of them stands up and he says, Allah was perfect. The Father, Allah, the Father was perfect. You know what I mean? And we're just His sons, so we're not perfect and things like that. And, in my head, of course, right? Like I told you, I came here off of ego, so that ego's not gonna. We talk about ego, and I was like, I'm God. I just come here because I think I'm God. I didn't even come here. When Dason brought me here and told me about it, I was like, wow, there's a school that teaches this. So it was ego first, like if they could rap that they God, I could do that too. You know what I'm saying? Why not? It's all the same, right? And I was like, wow, there's got to be something wrong with what he said there. It just didn't feel right, because someone that teaches you, especially a father that teaches, and the way I was taught, it said the babies are the greatest though. So how are you the sons of Allah and you're not as great as Him? Oh, this is a big flaw. At worst, the very least, He absolutely would disagree with you. Even if you would but we're not as good as, if He was here and said, but we're not as good as you, Allah, we aren't, oh, praises, that probably would happen, so, But the thing about it was I found flaw in that. So the first teaching I thought would be a cornerstone of what I was teaching was this concept of perfection, right? And that leads to the concept of what I said as a creator, because I said that we're not perfect, because perfect is grammatically incorrect. So a lot of stuff I say are like the or in the degrees is incorrect, bad grammar. Power or refinement is terrible grammar because we don't use them interchangeably, so it's not or. The word perfect used for Allah is incorrect because it means that He's not living. It means that He's done. Something that is perfect is past tense, and it's already done. You know what I mean? You can only say something is perfect if it is done. You know what I mean?
Well, then you have Sunez Allah Builds. He was perfect because this is a perfect nation, and we don't do perfect.
Right. But this nation is only perfect because it keeps doing perfect. So then we would have to use peace God. We would have to use the word perfect grammatically incorrect to still support that. You know what I mean? Because he'd have to tell me, well, we're still doing perfect, so Allah was perfect. You know what I'm saying? This nation continues, so if something continues perfect, you can only say that for a moment. You'd have to capture a moment each time. You know what I mean? Right? So I started to say, peace God, that what we are living is perfection. And I said it was constant elevation at an ever-increasing rate. So it's constant elevation at an ever-increasing rate. But I didn't draw the elevation linear, like a line. I drew it like a circle. Because the way that we measure our perfection is through our children. And the children technically are not linear though. It's a circular build. Right? Because they're not born though already at 20 years old. It's like, hey, ready to take off where you left. We we have to go back and build with them, and then they end up coming on stronger. You know what I mean? So there's a circular aspect, and like the universe, which its expansion isn't this way, because if these hands represent the universe, right, and the expansion, then that means that this room is the universe. It's just a balloon. I'm just holding a balloon inside the universe, right? So the expansion is of a different nature. It's internal, the depth of the cipher. So I said perfection is constant elevation at an ever-increasing rate, where that cipher of development gets deeper. It goes back to go forward, but it always is in a continuous process of getting deeper, you know? So I said all that in my head, and that's what spurred all these other things that I have taught over the years. I'm saying all that to say this to you, right? Everyone in some way is dealing with some kind of mystery, because at every single turn, though, they continue to pause the proof of the ever increasing development, growth of the original man. If we were to say what would God be like, he would master all realms, right? And there's another, not really a plus lesson that I've written, but it's more of an assignment, to always have a criteria, like actually list it. Just, try this. Take out paper and make a criteria for what is God, the creator. Like all the things that he has to do to be the creator. For example, though, we say that we, not only we, but pretty much every scientist that goes on, scientists in cosmology, whether they be, Davies or Green or even racist Richard Dawkins, whatever, they all say that the entire language of the universe is mathematical, right? That is the language of all the sciences, and the sciences define all these things, or are used to define everything that we know of, and define even the problems that we are seeking to know of, right? So it's the language of all things. So that would be like a criteria, right? You say criteria, what is the language of God? You know what I mean? What is the biochemical structure of God? What realms would he master? And you say he's time and space, and then, so that, people that deal with a mystery God say, oh, that's where you're wrong, because you die and everything like that, right? But then you can always use the counter that I always found perfect from Meher Baba, whose only flaw in life was making making up the term "Don't worry, be happy." It became one of the most annoying songs in the universe. And Bobby McFerrin took it. But other than that flaw, because it happens, right? I could have written something right now that could be the worst song ever. That when people read it, it might be the worst song ever. So I could be setting myself up for a big fall there. But Meher Baba, who considered himself the Avatar, which is kind of dope, and he took vows of silence throughout his whole life, he taught that God cannot just be infinite, like Allah, like whatever it is. The Creator is not just infinite, like something. Because remember, that's crucial to the mystery. That when we go, it's a mystery, because when things are out of our hand, we say, well, we're gonna die soon. I did all I could in this lifetime. We hit the glass ceiling, what I call the glass ceiling. It's not racism, it's the mystery God. Like, I've done enough. The racism is a door. It's a door. Like, you see it all the time. It's pretty clear, right? Or as I say, locked door, right? Because I don't see people bumping into racism at work, dude. Right? Black folk don't bump into racism. Wow, I didn't even know that there was invisible racism here in this company.
You should expect it at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty, like, it's there. Like, I'm not going down that hallway. That hallway is the path toward racism. It's not like a glass ceiling. It's a bad word for it. But the mystery God is a glass ceiling. Like, you don't know where, everybody picks their own spot. But they don't always know when they've stopped searching within themselves to come up with more solutions. So, one of the keys to sustaining that is the idea of your, I was going to say finitude, but I don't know if that's a real word, but your finite reality, right? Because what makes the mystery God so potent over us is this concept that only the mystery God has the reality of infinity. And that's totally untrue. Because everything in the universe, like Tahuti, right? You're talking about ancient Egyptian teachings. Tahuti, known as Hermes, not herpes, in the Greek, the Greeks, Kabbalion, right? The Greeks in the Kabbalion that they wrote by the three initiates, the Greek initiates, right? Tahuti, one of his major laws, right, was that the all is mind and the mind is all. That was the law. All is mind, mind is all. And the universe is composed of thought and can only be affected by thought. So basically the origin is in thought and in the mind. So that means that the mind is infinite. You know what I mean? And it is beyond time and space because it travels beyond time and space. You know what I'm saying? Thoughts can travel in all types of vessels. There's no vessel that travels. You know what I mean? Technically, if you bring an object somewhere else, you have traveled the thought. Like, if you pick up a chair and bring it over there, you've traveled the thought of the created chair. Like, if you really want to get metaphysical or like really metaphorical, historical, metaphorical. Like, I'm sounding like a corny rapper, right? Right? Lyrical miracle. I'm getting all crazy here. But the point being is that the infinite and the lone possession of infinity and the omnipresence of infinity only is what we define as God and that we say we don't have. But Meher Baba said that you're not Almighty God of all realms if there are realms that you don't even possess. And that realm that he said was finite. The finite. That mystery God that people talk about is not a master of the finite. It doesn't know the finite realm. In other words, when your physical body returns, the idea of living an infinite life of mind in a physical realm that will disperse and transition energy. You see, so it won't know that. So who's the only one that has these criteria? That aspect of the infinite, the aspect of the finite, the aspect of mathematics, the biochemical structure that has all of the elements in the universe and also has the ability to alchemize, meaning change those chemicals and initiate all life. And then obviously we would check off the box for black man, right? Just finishing. But the point being though, this is where, if you're thinking like, what is the difference in these other aspects? You know what I mean?
You must do your own research, as I did.
If Mecca did this.